I think justice is relative.
Tonight on Denver7 News at 6.
The judge is very likely going to resentence her to 18 months in custody.
Will a killer's accomplice walk free much earlier than expected? An expert says probably so.
Plus, leave the Mercedes, take the BMW.
They could have taken all of the cars. It's crazy that they only went for this particular one.
Why you can't log on to the state's unemployment website tonight.
Grubhub investigates a case of dine and bash.
If it's not Grubhub's fault, it's the driver's fault.
And bad news for prairie dogs. Your worst nightmare is multiplying.
Someone's at the top of the food chain and the rest are further down.
Good evening, and thanks for spending part of your Friday night with us. I'm Ann Trujillo.
And I'm Shannon Ogden. Glad you're here tonight. The DA's office will have the opportunity to make its case, but as of right now, it appears Crystal Kenny will serve at most 18 months in prison.
Not long for a woman prosecutors labeled as the devil, but as long as the law allows. Denver7's Megan Lopez has our top story.
It's the deal prosecutors say they didn't want to make.
We did a deal with the devil. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that, and I'm not proud of that.
But one they say was the only way to get justice for Kelsey Barrett. She's the Woodland Park mother who was murdered by her fiancé Patrick Frazee, but whose body was never found.
If I accept your guilty plea.
Instead, prosecutors relied on the testimony of Crystal Kenny to make their case. In return, Kenny pleaded guilty to tampering with evidence, a maximum of 18 months in prison, but
the judge decided that this crime was so terrible and so bad that he was allowed to give her up to 3 years in custody.
Legal expert David Beller says it's known as the Blakely standard. Basically, if there are aggravating factors, if a defendant was out on parole or probation during the time of the crime, or if they had a serious criminal history, the judge can sentence them to double the time.
In order for the judge to make those findings, it needs to be given to a jury, and a jury has to decide that one of those factors exist.
Only the Colorado Court of Appeals ruled this week that the judge didn't specifically inform Kenny of her rights to have a jury rule on those aggravating factors. So this week, Kenny's sentence was vacated.
No one messed up in this circumstance. The judge just thought that he had more right to sentence her outside of that plea agreement than what he was ultimately allowed to do.
In a tweet, the 4th Judicial District Attorney's Office said it's reviewing the decision and is sharing its opinion with the Colorado Attorney General's office. Kenny's attorney told ABC the sentence was unconstitutional, and her family said they're relieved by the ruling, adding that she hasn't been able to see her kids because of the pandemic. Kenny has already served 13 months in prison. With good time credit, she could be released soon. Megan Lopez, Denver7.
Attorneys for murder suspect Matthew Doloff have been granted another month to sift through evidence. Doloff was acting as a security guard for 9 News when he shot and killed Lee Keltner during a demonstration last year. Though Keltner was armed with only pepper spray, Doloff's attorneys are likely to suggest their client acted in self-defense. Doloff, who was neither licensed to work as a security guard in Denver nor to carry a gun, and was contracted out through Pinkerton. The city of Denver recommended this week that the company's license be suspended for 6 months.
A Burlington Northern Santa Fe railway officer will not be charged for shooting and killing a man in Denver last August. The officer said he was trying to arrest a homeless man on a warrant when the man tried to fight him, tried to reach for his gun. And by the end of the fight, the officer had been stabbed several times, and 54-year-old William Wallace had been shot dead.
Lake County Coroner Shannon Kent and wife Stacy Kent have been arrested on suspicion of tampering with a dead body. That body was found in one of several funeral homes that they used to operate, and the remains had been there since August. And this isn't the couple's first run-in with the law. Shannon Kent was previously under investigation for sending his wife to handle crime scenes in his place. One time she reportedly arrived without a body bag.
You know, so many people are coming to us with stories of stolen cars. This is our third in 2 days, but the first in which a thief appears to show some discretion. Patrick Perez explains.
Like a scene straight out of a movie.
It kind of makes me shake watching it still, because who does this?
Elena Banbrunt and her father Christopher still can't wrap their heads around what happened at their garage in the Virginia Village neighborhood Wednesday morning.
I was extremely emotional. I mean, this is completely degrading. You feel extremely violated.
In this video from a neighbor's camera across the street, you can see a group of thieves show up outside Van Brunt's garage. What you don't see is one of them breaking into the Camaro parked out front.
This is my Camaro here that has the broken window. It's over on the driver's side.
They grab the garage opener. opened the garage door and found what they were looking for inside, a midnight blue 2016 BMW 328i, similar to the one seen here.
They wanted that car really bad.
Elena's Mercedes was parked in the way, but the thieves, they came prepared. These thieves wanted the BMW so badly, you can still see the tire marks from when they forcefully pulled the Mercedes to get it out of the way. To do so, they tied their strap to the back of their Mercedes and a truck pulled it onto the street.
There's the BMW being backed up, and then there it goes.
Elena and Christopher still don't know why the thieves specifically targeted their BMW parked in the garage.
They could have taken all of the cars. Crazy that they only went for this particular one.
Christopher may have lost what was his retirement gift to himself.
Squanto was the name of my car.
But he's thankful he can take steps to make sure this doesn't happen again.
Everything will be locked, everything will be out. It's a different world.
Leaving access to the inside outside, a mistake this family will never make again. In Denver, I'm Patrick Perez, Denver7.
What a shame. Well, my friends, enjoy the nice weather while it lasts because more snow is on the way. Chief Meteorologist Mike Nelson has your forecast. Mike?
Don't panic. It won't be too big of a deal for us. But right now we have a beautiful evening coming up in the Denver area. And the temperatures have been pretty comfortable today. We reached the upper 40s. It's still 40 in Denver in the mountains. A mix of teens, 20s, and low 30s. But it is in the mountains. We already have a winter weather advisory in effect. It starts for tomorrow through Sunday morning for about 6 to locally 8 inches of snow. We'll get some snow down here on the plains as well, but not until tomorrow evening into early Sunday morning. So high clouds, cool tonight, mountain snow Saturday. We get light metro snow tomorrow night and early Sunday, but the payoff is much warmer weather coming up early next week. Details in about 10 minutes.
The Inspector General for the Department of Defense will investigate why Space Command headquarters was moved from Colorado to Alabama. Multiple Colorado lawmakers, Republican and Democrat, have said they believe the Trump administration's decision to have been motivated by politics. A Colorado clinic has been ordered to stop signing people up to get the vaccine because it is not authorized to do so.
The state attorney general's office says VitaCare doesn't have the proper paperwork and as a result cannot possibly obtain the vaccine it's promising.
We don't have reason to believe this was a scam trying to deceive people. When we sent the letter saying they didn't have the authorization, they quickly responded. I believe they actually have a process ongoing to get the authorization. So it's not as if they're trying to pull a fast one. They just didn't have their I's dotted and T's crossed.
VitaCare has locations in Denver, Cherry Creek, and Fort Morgan. The group told the AG's office it will cease making appointments until it receives that authorization.
Colorado administered 33,000 doses of the vaccine today. 1,200 cases and 35 deaths were confirmed. 450 people are in the hospital.
Colorado's unemployment system went down half an hour ago, and it's not going to be back online until 3 a.m. Now, the outage was planned. Hopefully, it will give the Labor Department enough time to get everything ready for the rollout of Phase 2 tomorrow. And that's going to provide relief to as many as 289,000 Coloradans who had previously exhausted their benefits.
Denver Public Schools with an unfortunate error tonight. Apparently, the Robert F. Smith STEAM Academy was not listed under the correct address and may not have shown up on parents' enrollment sheet when they went to sign up their students. And this will not do. The Smith School is modeled after historically black colleges and universities and amounts to a huge investment in the too often ignored Montbello community. Families interested in the program can revise their rankings or submit an application.
The people behind a push to recall 4 Douglas County School Board members have started collecting signatures. Organizers say the school's back-to-school plan was a failure, and they're frustrated by delays in getting students back into the classroom.
You know, most of us order out because it's convenient. A Denver man's experience has been anything but. Here is Liz Gilardi.
It starts with the delivery person kind of coming up to the door.
As the food is being delivered, watch the cars in the background. A hit-and-run accident caught on video.
It's about the same time that they're removing the last bag of food out of the cooler that you hear and see the reaction of the delivery person.
Brandon Watts ordered food through Grubhub, and he's been fighting with the company ever since. This video from his doorbell camera clearly shows a car backing into his Jeep, and you can see the delivery person walking back towards the car before the video cuts out.
I mean, was that person's driver. You could tell by the motions of where the person was walking back towards and like the reaction when the vehicle backs into it. It was that person's driver.
Brandon reached out to Grubhub right away. He says they gave him a refund for the food, but nothing else happened.
Just let me know. Let's figure out a way to make this problem right. It's whether that's, again, if it's not Grubhub's fault, it's somebody, it's the driver's fault. We need to get in touch with that driver.
Without anyone taking responsibility, Brandon's car is just sitting here and he's wondering if he'll get stuck with the bill for the damage.
He took all the right steps. He filed a hit and run report with Denver police and an incident report with Grubhub.
They told me and the police officer was that they pretty much just sell a software.
After Contact Denver7 reached out to Grubhub, a spokesperson said they launched an internal investigation into this incident and promised to cooperate with law enforcement. They also said if a driver is found to be in violation of delivery terms, then that person will be removed from the platform. Brandon just wants to get his Jeep fixed, but he doesn't think he should have to pay.
It's probably gonna need some axle work on the driver's side and definitely some fender work. It was functioning before Grubhub decided to back into it.
Liz Gilardi, Denver7.
Liz and the rest of the Contact Denver7 team start their days listening to your calls, reading your emails. So, hey, let's keep them busy. If you have a problem, you have an issue, dial that number on your screen, or you can send a message to the address.
Mountains under a winter weather advisory as snow will return to Colorado for the weekend.
Plus the mural of the story.
I just hope people are inspired. That's my biggest thing.
And meet Elizabeth Ann, a ferret like any other and the first of her kind.